D2 Rambo. Oh, no. Are we ready?
Aye, Captain.
I can't hear you.
Aye, Captain.
Okay, that was playing.
Ooh.
Hat.
He is cooked.
He's cooked.
That was
cooked.
loud.
Okay, I'm ready, Ethan. Hit us.
All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast, episode 13, to a podcast. Bro's got a flashlight. What are you taking pictures of over there?
Why is it cricket? What? Who
The
did that?
camera's
Listen.
The
Listen.
picture's
Look at the
not.
view.
Well, actually,
No.
it is.
That's kind of cricket, though.
I'm not. Well, don't look at the top. Look at the bottom.
What is that?
We kind of look level. What?
What's on the table?
Oh, that's Levi's
It should
thing
not
out of his
be.
microphone.
Yeah.
Told you. See, I told you it came out.
Put it underneath it.
Yeah.
Or hold it. That's cool, too. So, we've got some topics here today. Sports updates. Brand new. Because sports,
Are back.
as far as football, is back. And the answer to Logan's riddle.
we got that.
And then a story time,
He
product, and news. New news. And Levi's top 10. It says 9 because he may not have a 10.
not have a 10.
My list doesn't have a
His
10.
list might be cooked. So, as far as sports update, we are going to do a fantasy football draft in our family and maybe with Logan, who's been on the pod.
Which we talked about last episode with Logan.
Yes, we did. And he is cooked already. We haven't even started, haven't done a draft, but
But we know he's done.
he's just done. He's already roasting. But, you know, sometimes the sleepers kind of win.
I did
At
that
least
on our
don't
last
win.
thing.
Well, they
I
don't
kinda
really
did good.
win, but they'll do okay sometimes, which is good because then that keeps them intrigued. So anyway, fantasy football, if you don't know what it is, basically it's like a draft. So,
It's like real football.
well, yeah, but you pick a quarterback, a halfback, 3 or 4 receivers, 2 tight ends, or 2 or 3 halfbacks, a whole defensive units team, a whole defensive team,
So just like a
on
whole
one
team's
team.
defense.
and then a kicker. Is that it?
Kicker.
I
There's a
wasn't
flex
listening.
in there, but
Hey, so
and
yeah.
you get
Change it.
points on if they do things good. So if I have a receiver get a catch and a touchdown, you get points from that, and the quarterback would obviously get points too because he
And
threw
the
it to the
defense
receiver.
would lose points.
And the defense loses points. Or if I'm a running back and I get a handoff and I go and get a lot of yards, I get points. And if I get a touchdown, I get points as well. And that loses points for the defense. But if the defense gets an interception or a sack or a touchdown, a pick six, or a safety, any of that, they get points. And then the kicker gets points when he hits extra points, hits field goals.
A defense also will start at 10 points because it's tiered. If
Right,
you have
'cause
0
otherwise
to
they
6
would
points, you
lose.
get 10 points. If you have 7 to 14, it's 8 points or whatever.
Yeah, because
So it
otherwise
goes
they
down.
would lose a lot of points and be in the negatives a lot, which they will
So-
get in the negatives sometimes. But
So okay, so that's like fantasy football as a whole.
Yeah.
But
this
what did we do
actual
anything
draft-
special?
No,
With-
so
'cause
what
there
we
was
get
like
to do?
like it looked like 20 parameters Levi could set.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all the
you-
points.
that's all
you
the
can change all the
scoring.
points and
There's
stuff.
So
so many
did
different
you do
things.
anything crazy? Like
No.
kicks are worth more than typical, or
No.
No, we'll keep it
I
simple
added
for this first
one
time.
thing.
If
but
we go through it
What'd you
this
add?
year and next year we're like, oh, I want this to be more points or this to be less points, then that's really when you
Mhm.
critique it.
I don't even know what
but-
I added.
then
Anything
I don't
crazy
care.
would just
if you don't remember, it's not important.
throw everything off. And so then basically the draft is it lines out us as players. We all get randomly selected as a pick. So we'll have a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, potentially picks. And so let's say I get the first pick. It's a hard one because you got to try and pick who you think will score the most fantasy football points throughout an entire NFL season. So I think I would obviously pick Pat Mahomes.
What was it?
And then we would go to
0.
the next
No.
pick,
Oh,
and that would
lame.
probably be like a halfback. And then we'd go through those types of rounds. Everybody would get their pick. And then you go through and pick every position to the best of your ability first, kind of. You can play it as a mind game and try to not get sleeper picks. Or you can try to just play it stereotypical, hope no one gets hurt, that kind of thing. There's a lot to take into consideration when picking a player as far as not only their production, but have they been healthy? Are they old? Are they a rookie? That
If it's a wide
may
receiver, do they have a
suck?
quarterback?
Do they have a good quarterback? Does the defense, or do they have an old guy? Do they have any injured players? A lot of things that can go into it. And when picking a quarterback, do they have a good receiving core? Do they have a good O-line? And when picking a halfback, do they have a good O-line? All that stuff. Lots of thought that can go into it. I won't bore you with that. If you want to look more into it, I think I pretty well just described all of fantasy football in a detailed enough.
I'm sure we'll comment. We'll come back probably in an episode or two once the draft has happened, and especially once players have games start being played, with what our picks were and why we picked them and some thoughts behind that.
Yes.
So we'll have more details to come.
And it helps. Obviously, if you're a football fan, so you watch it, and so you can see real time study the players not only through the fantasies rankings, but create your own rankings. If you think, so and so is going to do really good against this team because they have a bad defense, knowing the next schedule and the teams on the different players could help you out a lot. And so when you're watching, does this guy who I thought was going to be really good actually not produce against or with his certain team and stuff like that.
So
like we watch the Chiefs games every week. Ben doesn't so much. He might watch some of it.
So
he really only kind of knows the Chiefs a little. But
Barely.
Me and Levi watches the Packers every week. I'll watch the Packers every other week if it's a good matchup. But he's going to know a lot about the Packers. I'll know the Chiefs. But in fantasy football, you really should watch probably as much games as you can, which is why a lot of out of college working adults do it, but now it's more geared, and a lot of college kids do it as well because you can bet and kind of make money off of it if you do good.
So, and then after the start, so that's like the start setup. When it's going, you can trade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Trade,
when you're watching,
drop,
you're
release.
trying to understand what players are good, better. You thought, like, say in the draft, number 9 pick, Rome Odunze gets picked. So he's right now a higher rank than the 30th overall pick, Xavier Worthy. If Rome Odunze and his quarterback don't do as good as Xavier Worthy, who's on the Chiefs with a good quarterback, he could start to outproduce him. So if you picked Rome Odunze in the first round and then Xavier Worthy got picked later in the round, you might switch them and put one to your bench and start the other one.
Oh,
Neither of which.
so
should
you
be
have
first-round
both.
Picks in the
You
fantasy
have
draft.
both,
Right, but I'm just saying.
But
Yeah.
so can you trade with each other?
And yes,
Us
then
two? So besides from having both an active and like a bench roster all in your picks, you can also you can swap those players with each other, right?
Mhm.
yeah, from your bench to active.
Which is just gonna be me and Ethan. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Is there
but
a non-held by anyone roster?
yeah, there's free agents. So
we
if someone we don't draft that goes undrafted starts performing better than our second or third round pick, then you can waiver and release one guy and sign a different guy who was undrafted.
And so is that every
It's
week
just like
we can
trading.
do that, or is that just like the NFL where there's a timeline and
Every week. You should be paying attention to it every week because every week, other than like the first couple weeks, every team gets a bye week. Every week there's a bye week in the NFL.
So are you
one or
saying
two
you
teams
should
get a
always
bye
trade
week in
your
the
bye
NFL.
week guy?
Well,
Yeah.
not trade, but have
just
somebody on the bench to replace him. And if you have two guys that have a bye week, all of them are playing on your starters and all of them are playing on your bench, then yeah, you better find a free agent or try to make a trade with somebody.
So you don't
to
want to
try
draft
and
a
win.
bunch from the same team.
Yes.
So, what do I want to ask? So you can trade anytime, like in
you
the
can
week,
trade and you can sign free
right?
agents
Anytime, the whole league, the whole time.
until
No,
Like
well, there's a
playoffs.
trade deadline.
except for when
Is it
right.
the same as the NFL's trade deadline?
I don't know. It's November 22nd.
it's
though, if you
close.
wanna know.
It's
But
similar
yes.
then. Okay,
There is a point where you can't trade anymore, but you can still sign free agents, just
right,
like in the NFL.
right. Okay.
Undrafted
and move
players.
people around from active to inactive. Do you
Well,
get
yeah, you can
points for
always do that.
inactive players or just the
No.
active?
No,
ones?
they have to be active to get you your
So
total
when you have
points up.
Amari
Okay.
Cooper sitting on the bench, drop 40.
So if
one
someone's
week,
doing really bad, but you don't want to trade, you can just be like, "I'll just kick him off and put a replacement in." and
Or if
maybe
he's
he'll do
playing
better.
against
Yeah,
an
because
elite
if he's
defense
doing
this
bad,
week.
chances are nobody's
That's true.
gonna
There's
want him.
also a versus part where it's not just how well our players are playing, but also how they're playing against
if
the
one's
other
gonna
whole
play
team.
better, yeah. So I could have somebody that is doing okay, but not good, but better than what his player's doing. So I could try to trade for somebody who he might think, they're not going to do anything good. But in my brain, I'm like, I feel like he's going to do pretty good. So there's the strategizing level where it's like, okay, he's not doing good for me. I could try to trade for someone better in a different position and move another person to his spot. But he's got someone he doesn't really like. So I could easily trade my weak underperforming player for someone, and he might help him out eventually, or he thinks he will, or it will help him out if he has a bad team.
If I have like 2 good
So then,
kickers,
and then I try to get someone who he thinks, oh, they're
Don't
not
get
doing
2
good, they're
kickers.
not gonna do
maybe I
good.
want 2
Come to
kickers.
my team, I need the help there.
Always draft
so
defense first.
What's the point of of us battling?
That's a joke.
What's the
Don't even
point
talk
of us of the verses? Because I noticed that there's like
Yeah.
me v Team 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you play each other.
So
That's how
then,
that's why the points
My
matter.
team will play your team. Actually, we'll probably
Right.
all play each other 3 times with how.
but
few
what's
people we
the?
have.
How does the points? So what's the?
just like a normal one.
So we are just. It's each round.
Whoever
Your
has the
team
most
each
points.
round, and it's just going for wins at that point.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
you're
there's
trying
a
to go for
playoff,
wins.
So
and
the
then-
ultimate game isn't total points overall; it's total wins
Yes.
Right.
against your opponent.
Yeah, it's just
that
like
week.
football.
Okay.
Last year I had like the 4th least points. but,
I
like,
thought it was like
winning a lot.
the total kept totaling, and then they would build points up.
No,
but
no,
you're
all on,
just
like the NFL
yeah, it's just
and
like
ranking.
that. Okay.
So you try to get undefeated to get the 1 seed, and then you play the worst ranked, but he may have a better team than you. So you may beat everybody else except for the one guy you get. That's why it all depends, and you don't
And
do points.
if you have one person get injured, you're screwed with that position. You can't if they get injured like in the first quarter, that's 0 points right there for that
Yeah.
guy.
Oh, but you can't,
That's why
but
I
you
was
can't
saying
trade him
earlier-
mid-game.
No,
no,
once
that's
the
why I
league
was
starts,
saying
it's over.
earlier, if you have somebody old, you're
What's the-
taking kind of a risk of them getting hurt if
What-
they're an
how-
older running back or
When can you transfer?
they may be
spots?
really good,
before their game
but if they're
starts.
old,
So,
So
you're
I can
taking a
transfer
risk.
up if a game starts at 1. I can transfer at noon.
Yeah.
The player out of the position if
Yeah.
I think he's a.
But if he gets hurt,
So if he
when
gets-
the
that's
game
why you
starts-
also
if he
have
gets
to pay
injured in
attention.
practice, I could swap. him.
Yes.
Right. That's
Okay.
why you also have to pay attention because there's times where they may be questionable until game time. So until you got to watch the pregame to understand, listen to the
Right,
reporter
if you
say,
really
Don't
want
yeah,
to.
we
have
heard blah,
to.
blah, blah is playing tonight. And then you go off of that,
And they're like, "Oh, quick, put him back."
which it'll tell you if they're questionable or inactive. But if they're questionable, you really have to watch and be like,
you better watch. Yeah.
If
You gotta
they're
pay attention to
questionable,
the
I would
news.
put the guy in above him, but then watch to make sure, and then switch
and then
it.
swap him right
Especially
before the game starts in
yeah,
case
if
you can.
If it's like, yeah, he's good.
I know.
Just
That
Google
makes
his name,
sense to
look at
me.
his news section, and if he's good, he's good.
yeah.
Fantasy football.
Yeah, so we'll be doing that. We'll be keeping you updated.
It'll start regular season. So we're 2 preseason games in. We have 1 more week of preseason,
Oh
and then
my
the regular
gosh.
season starts.
So 2 weeks and it starts. Okay. Well, we'll probably come back at you guys in 2 weeks ish with our picks, 1 or 2 weeks with our picks, and then from there we'll talk about how we're doing each other, and we'll do quick updates, I'm sure, on the podcast. All right. Anything else?
Chiefs lost their preseason game to the Packers. We don't know
Not
about
the
that.
Packers. He
Oh.
didn't play the Packers.
Oh,
Hey, we don't know.
They
about
lost
the Packers
their-
yet. The Chiefs have lost.
The
their
Chiefs
2
are 0-2,
preseason
and the
games.
Packers are 1-0 and play in
In
about
preseason.
an hour
in
and a half.
preseason.
Doesn't matter.
Wait, they're
That's
playing
all
each
I'm
other?
No,
Okay. I was like, what? Okay.
No, it doesn't matter at
it
all
wouldn't even
either.
be close. The Packers would absolutely obliterate them.
Okay.
Well.
All right. So our next topic here, Logan came on last episode and
the riddle.
gave
Go
us
watch
a
it.
riddle.
We're not going to say the riddle again. We're just going to say the answer.
Oh, I was going to, but that's fine.
No, 'cause
so
then they're
you
cheating.
have to watch the episode before to hear the riddle. It's near the start. There's a chapter. You can go right to it. But Logan promises to give you the answer by the end of the. And we totally forgot.
Yeah,
To give you guys the answer. So I thought
we'll start in here real
to be
quick.
complete, this is the answer to his riddle. Do you want me to include the explanation or just the answer? Because the answer doesn't make sense without.
Then yeah.
I don't
you
even
can kinda
remember the
explain
riddle.
it.
All right, I'm gonna say the riddle.
No, don't say the riddle again.
Okay, the
Just
answer is 10. It is because the number 28 sounds like 28, like ATE, like eating
Yeah,
something.
8. Nom nom nom.
So when you hear the riddle, the 28 isn't the number; it's like 28, and so then that would
That
leave
number.
you with
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, that
That's the-
explains it good.
That's the answer to the riddle. Without knowing the riddle, you guys go watch the other episode.
Gotta go find
give
the-
us a few watch
Give us
time.
a view, man.
And if you would just keep watching, because otherwise that hurts our metrics. If you just
Are
stop
review
right
hungry?
there.
Maybe. But gotta go watch the other one now,
Yep.
suckers.
All right, so you're welcome, Logan, for picking up the tab there
Picking
on
up for
that
his
riddle.
slack.
Yep, he's definitely a slacker. Just kidding.
Now we have a story time. So, this is a story time for me because none of them have ever done this. I have done this to a couple animals.
I think, thank goodness.
I have trimmed the hooves of goats.
Is that called
Couple
burying?
times, which actually they were there to help trim trimmed goat hooves a couple times. We did that with the little scissors. We held the goat, tied the goat, and then cut its
Me?
hooves. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
We've
remember
had
this.
goats.
You don't remember that when we had goats?
Oh, when
We
we
put it up
had
on the
goats.
trailer.
Yes, vaguely remember this.
Yeah.
And we had not the right tool, I don't believe.
No, we did.
Okay, well then. I just didn't think that was working well then.
Yeah, it's hard.
It
They're
sucks.
annoying. They're wild animals, you know. I guess they're domestic, but anyway. So we've trimmed some donkey hooves before, or not donkey, goat hooves before. I have helped out my buddy Trevor, who will be on the podcast sometime. He's just out serving right now. Thank you to those who served. I have trimmed donkey hooves before, and they suck. Horses are a lot more domesticated and less stubborn than donkeys. Most of you should know the difference between donkeys and horses.
Donkeys are smaller.
Donkeys are smaller, but that does not help.
And have a
Just
better
because they're
neck
smaller
band.
than a horse, that does not give you any benefit. So there's these stubborn donkeys that don't really get used a road or pet a whole lot
They just
throughout
live
the year.
there.
They just live there, and they make their appearances at events sometimes.
So they're rarely handled,
Yeah,
and so they're not used to anything.
So then, Trevor's a new and coming farrier, if you will. So he gets tasked by an older farrier as giving him this customer, because they're annoying, to do these donkeys. And he's like, hey, you want to come help me and maybe make a little money trimming donkey hooves? And I was like, sure, I'll try it once. Not knowing I was going to have to do it a couple times. He wants my help every time now because it would be pretty hard with one person. It's been done by the older and better farriers, but it's harder. So anyway, I get chosen to help, and I go
Congrats.
there in the mindset, it's okay, we're just doing this to help and
it's-
to learn.
It's just 2 donkeys.
And it's
right?
kind of fun, you know, because Trevor's my buddy, and yeah, it's 2 donkeys.
It's
One's
just
an old one,
2 donkeys.
one's a younger one, and the older one's obviously a little more easier to handle than the younger one because the younger one's stronger and everything like that. But so we get there, and the first time it wasn't raining, the second time it rained. First time went rough. It was kind of warm, but it's not like trimming horses' shoes at all. If you've ever trimmed or know or have seen what trimming horses are, you put a horse's foot up on a stand, you get your tools out, you trim. Maybe he kicks his foot off a couple times, you pick it back up, make sure he's tied to something, and then you go around and do that with all feet. No, not like that at all when doing a donkey, especially
or at
these
least
donkeys,
these donkeys.
because they are stubborn as a donkey. I think the saying stubborn as a mule, but donkeys are stubborn too. And they're not weak little donkeys. They're annoying. And so we get there, and we try to first catch them. That's annoying. So, but eventually we catch it. We get a rope tied. It's got its harness, whatever that stuff, halter on the front. We were trying anything to tie it to get it to stand still. Wouldn't stand still. We tried warming it up to it, not being mean to it, all that stuff. But then eventually we got tired of that. And they were tired of us right when we walked in the gate. So it was not a good mixture. And so then we finally got one of them back corralled and calm. Not really calm, but tied down. And he tried different ways of holding it and keeping its foot steady. But none of them pretty much worked. We had eventually given up because we couldn't tie it to the side to get to the other side and flip it, and they were kicking the whole time. And so any rope we did the first time, because I think we did the younger one first, it was rough. So eventually we were like, okay, it's easier if we tackle them, and because then they can't move.
We tackled.
When they get on the ground, their feet just kind of stay. They might kick sometimes, but if you stay on them good enough and keep them in a good enough spot, they'll kind of give in to you, at least for a little bit, and give up. So we did that. It was hot. They were sweating, but we just had to get this done. We were over it. And so when we tackled it, we threw blanket over its head, and that makes them blind, so they are a little more calm and a little more easier to work with, because that's the whole point, is to work with its hooves to trim it. They were pretty long hooves, so it was pretty easy to kind of just chop, chop, go quick, do a little finish, go on to the next one, chop, chop, and then they'd kick and get up, and then we had to tackle it again. And we did that over and over and over, and we finally got one of them done or done enough. Yeah,
Close enough.
it got to done enough
That's
because
a,
they
that's a
hadn't been
B
done.
plus worth.
It
of
was
work.
way better than they were. It wasn't a perfect job by any means, but they're donkeys. They're not. I mean,
They're not show donkeys or anything. They're just,
it had been a
they're
while,
just
and
field donkeys.
he was just glad to get it done. So then we get to the older one, and the older one we might have tied up for a little bit, and it was okay. I think at least for like its front feet, but it did not have it for the back feet. So we got it tackled again.
That's elder. That's elder abuse.
Throwing the blanket on its face, and when you have to tackle it, you have to grab its head and twist it back while you're on the other side. So you twist it down because then it'll eventually be like, oh, this isn't comfortable, and you kind of roll it. So once you grab it and twist its head back, you don't want to be on the other side, but you have to push it over. So I'm on the front grabbing it, pulling its head, yanking it back towards its butt while Trevor is pushing against it. And eventually they fall over.
It took two of you guys to tackle a donkey?
Once they fall over, that's game time because it's hard enough to get them to fall over because they're such strong and stubborn, closer to the ground animals. Well, once you do that, it's like, oh, we got to move now. And so we pull it back, we push it, and you kind of wobble and then push, and it'll eventually go. Well, sometimes eventually, sometimes not eventually. And then you have to hurry up and cover its head so it's blind and like doesn't know where to go because it can't see, and it keeps it more calm that way too. And then you got to put your knee on it, not enough to choke it or anything, just to let it know, hey, I'm here. You can't move your head up. Because once they move their head and they get that blanket off, that's when they're like, oh, this isn't right. So if you let up on the knee and they turn their head, then they know that they can turn their feet and they'll turn around real quick and just pop right up. There was only a couple times we probably saved one from getting up, but otherwise every time they started to get up.
If they went to go get up, they got up.
Oh, crap. Because, you have to lay on it to shove it back down, but even that doesn't work sometimes. They'll just pick you right back up with how strong they are.
No animals were hurt in the making of this
No, they
video.
weren't hurt at all. They were fine. It's the
Really,
nature of the
Ethan and
beast.
Trevor were hurt, and probably more.
Well, we were a little sore, but we were fine. We never got kicked or anything serious. But eventually, after a couple tackles, the older one was like, you know what? I like this standing job a lot better than while I'm on the ground laying there. And so it let us tie it up, and me and Trevor hold. I hold while he does, and then it'll kick and go, and then I hold and he does type of thing. So, 2-3 hours endeavor.
To do
He got his money, so we went to town to cash it in, and then I think we grabbed something to eat, and then we were on our way. And obviously he did most of the work. I was just there for tackling and donkey holding downing like a crazy child.
The donkey tackler.
Yeah, it was honestly, I'd probably help him again. I'm not
gosh.
sick of it. Like I did it first. It only sucked in the rain because it was muddy and everything was slimy, and
so was the rain
gross.
the same exact thing?
Yeah,
Just raining.
yeah.
So
And
you're
we
just
tried to
throwing animals down in the mud.
Well, it wasn't pouring rain. It was just enough to be annoying, and we got hot, so you didn't want a jacket on. Then you were tackling donkey, and you had donkey everywhere.
Donkey everywhere.
Yeah. I can't remember if I was in jeans or not. I think I was, so the jeans were just wet, and they got a little dirty, but it was just more annoying in the rain because everything was more a little slick. It was just a drizzle. It wasn't pouring. It was colder, but eventually, like I said, we got hot from tackling a donkey. So, long story shortened, don't sign up to trim a donkey's hooves.
If your friend says, "Hey, I got these 2 donkeys,"
Yeah. I mean, maybe help them once, but then be like, no, I would not even do these donkeys because that sucks. But I understand if you want to be a farrier and you're trying to get trim a donkey's hooves because that's hard.
and then
They will respect you, and if they have horses, they will eventually be like, hey, if you keep doing these donkeys, I'll give you a couple horses. If you're trying to be a farrier, knock yourself out. This white boy, he didn't like doing that very much. But that's pretty much the story. It is way harder than trimming a goat's hooves. That was really the only reason I did it. Because, like, yeah, I
Well,
trim
also,
goats, I kind of understand.
The
but-
goats that we trimmed were nice because they knew us
Well,
and we handled them kind of.
they still don't like it.
Right. But they're not actively trying to run
But
away
you
from
can
you.
hold a goat's leg and they can't move. You can't hold a donkey's leg and they not kick out of it because you're not trying to get hurt doing it. So
That's fair.
when you have goats, you have little scissors that are sharp. You hold their hooves and you snip. When ferrying and trimming donkey and horses' hooves, there's a whole process because of the heavier animal that they are. You not only trim it shorter, you try to clean out some of the inside that has grown as well, and then you try to kind of polish so it's not sharp and it doesn't look bad with a different tool to shave it down as well. So there's a lot more steps to doing donkeys and horses than there is just goat foot, click, go around it and just shorten it and you go on. Because that's the nature of shoeing it as well, which luckily didn't have to do that. So.
Could you imagine you also had to shoe it?
That could get bad quick just because of it. I mean, if you're going to if you shoe a donkey and if you farrier or trim a donkey's hooves, I would give it a shot of something. Just because your day would be so much easier.
Just knock it out.
Just,
I mean,
give it
you would knock your time in half, guaranteed. Probably less than that. Especially if you're by yourself. If you're by yourself, I think you would have to give a thing a shot.
Drug the donkey.
Just to get it to conk out for you. And that's even if you have to give it 2 shots. Just because
then you only have to tackle it twice.
Yeah.
Instead of 4
It'll
times.
fall over for you versus, anything to calm it down would help. But it is a rough time and not very fun. Especially in some rain. I can't imagine.
How about if you had
Like if it was storming?
trained or like been around people, donkeys its whole life?
Well, I
it'd be
don't think
probably
you can
easier.
train donkeys. Like, you can train
Well,
a
if
horse.
the
You
donkey
could make
Trained,
a
but
you
if
could
it's been around people its whole life.
Yeah,
If
you
the
could make
donkey
'em
was
calmer.
handled like 2 or 3 times a week, it probably would have been a lot better.
You could probably make them more calm and they'd be more domesticated, but still, it's not like a horse where once you do it a couple times with a horse, it's like trained and it knows, oh, I'm okay. Here's my foot. And then you just go.
Here's my foot.
A donkey, I don't think you could train like that. I think a donkey would hate it every single time. Obviously, they could be calmer and more domestic about being around you than these ones were, but still.
You should offer that person to go do it and see if it ever gets calmer.
No, I don't think the old one will, especially because it's old and stubborn in its own ways.
Well, Ethan, that's a great story.
It was rough. It's not fun. Wouldn't recommend. 9 out of 10 would not recommend.
Even though you say you would do it again.
Well, I'd help him. I would never do that by myself. And that's the only reason I think I would help him, because I know that would take twice as long
you feel bad
to
for
do it
him.
by yourself.
That's funny.
And, if I have anything I need help with, I know he'll help me too if I do it.
Well,
So
sounds like it sounds like he owes you.
no, I got a little bit of the money just for the time it
The
took.
tackle.
But I gave him most of it because he did it and all that stuff. So anyway, that was story time. I don't think any other crazy ones. I've helped. Like I said, I've done goat hooves and helped with that.
Have you ever done an actual horse?
No, I've never seen it done either, other than like a video. But in every video, the horse is just sitting there with its foot back, happily getting cut and trimmed. So
Couldn't be goats.
no,
I mean,
could
couldn't
not
be donkeys.
at all.
Bummer for
Yeah.
you, really.
But moving on, product reviews is our next one, and this is a different one. I'm gonna have to go get mine because I kind of forgot.
Go ahead. I'll explain it while
Can
you
we
walk off.
show that?
Show what? Oh. It's a tool.
Everything.
It's a tool.
My
We're
other
gonna get
one's already
canceled?
on. We might get canceled if I show that.
It's just a
What if I just show it, not the blade? Anyways, I've got
knife.
So I've told the story, and we've told our favorite YouTubers.
Yes, and actually we'll probably Levi didn't bring
Levi doesn't have one.
Levi has a few things.
No,
but
I
he didn't
have a
bring it.
shirt from like 18 years
Yeah,
ago.
I mean, he
And a
has a
bell.
Linus Tech Tips mat as well.
That's,
but that's not
true.
what
I
he
actually
bought.
forgot about that.
Mm.
Also, yeah, I can.
You have one of those too. Did you bring yours?
Not the mat.
You didn't. Oh,
I should have. Darn it.
yeah, you should have. Anyway, I have
I'd had
bought, and KG has a store of outdoor stuff, and he sells knives and gun scopes and fishing sets and all this stuff. But his knives is his prized possession. I've got a hat too, just because.
And did you get a scope?
Yeah, I have one of the scopes.
So Ethan
A
has
red
Definitely
dot.
can't show that one.
Ethan has a scope.
Yeah, I don't think I could definitely show that.
I think you could show the scope.
I can get it and get the knife just
It's
to show
not
you it's pretty
on-
large.
It's not just
It's on one of
If you
the
want to, you
weapons.
can. I don't care. Yeah, I wouldn't show the.
I'm not gonna get that.
Well, actually, you can show a weapon. I watch a guy who shows weapons, and he'll go, "For YouTube's sake, this is airsoft."
Yeah, let me put an orange tip on
This
it.
is an airsoft gun. YouTube, I swear.
Yeah, I have bought one of his red dot sights for like hunting purposes, and a little knife which I'll go get here in a minute. But I think that's all I've got. I've got some bracelets, but that's not really a product that is used.
It's not much quality. There's not much.
And
differences.
I think I have one of his knife sharpeners as well because I have the knife. That one of those handheld ones that you hit and then just kind of can go down and it'll.
So do you want to go get it while I talk about what I got?
Yeah, I can go get the knife.
Okay. So Ethan likes KG. Levi has an unspeakable shirt from forever ago and a bell. Remember that? Do you have anything else? Do you buy any other YouTuber cut type merch?
No. I'm about to buy the perfect Hey Dude shoes.
Perfect Hey Dudes. And we've bought the Mr. Beast candies before. But this is more products. So this idea was like YouTuber merch, which I know is kind of iffy, and usually YouTuber merch isn't very quality. So I wanted to see what we'd bought and then see if it's good quality. The stuff I've bought before is stuff from LTT, which we've talked about companies we like and endorse, and I have a few of their products here that I just bought some.
Like he said, YouTube products are usually not good quality. I would only buy something that is good quality.
That is
right.
A lot.
Yeah,
That is not a lie.
Ethan's only ever quality.
Everything I buy lasts. I've never had anything break.
Didn't he just like? No, we'll get into that later.
So Ethan, your YouTuber's merch. Do you think that's quality? Like, is
Oh,
that
100%.
you think that's a really good knife?
Yeah, he always has his forever.
So is
Now,
it like?
I don't use it every day, so.
Right. It's not your. It's
But
not
I don't
your
think
EDC.
this is made to be used
Everyday
every day.
carry.
So, because it's so large, I'll take it to the camera.
Well, I don't really need you to do that, but if you want to do that, that's 100%.
Make a thumbnail right there while you're there.
There it is. It's a pocket knife,
That's the thumbnail.
That's a thumbnail.
and it is not small. I mean, that's my hand.
It's a pretty big. It's not a small knife. It's not a big knife.
It's a huge knife.
It's a little bigger than.
Knife, it's huge.
It's not as. It's compared to my knife.
He was
About the
talking
same
about how
size.
it was a very large knife, and that was compared to his hand and watch.
You have a big pocket knife.
Oh, do I? Okay. I guess I also have a big pocket knife.
Real men have big pocket knives.
Yeah, real men carry knives.
Well, I'll
That's my
take it
theory.
with me hunting or things like that.
So that's like your
and
field
I think
knife.
I've used it to skin a squirrel. But can I say that on here? I don't know, but I just did.
Nah, do it. So you
Here
is it
a phone next to an iPhone.
showing your
13
wallpaper
or whatever.
So
iPhone 13.
it stays sharp and everything. You don't have any complaints
I've
with
sharpened it once, but yeah, otherwise it.
Because
I'm
I had a
probably
knife
shouldn't
once
open
that
that.
didn't stay very sharp.
they
I
can't
didn't
see it.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's been fine. It was
Quality
actually
stuff.
when I first got it, it was like razor sharp. I could cut down
That's-
a piece of paper with
that's
it
pretty
because
common.
it's heavy too, so
So-
it helps itself.
Can you, when you sharpen it with the included or the additional sharpener, can you get it that sharp again or close to that sharpness again?
Yeah, pretty well. I mean, it's
Alright.
not a professional sharpen, but it's
Well, yeah, especially when
good
it's
enough
just like
to
a
skin
little,
a squirrel.
especially when it's a good little handheld guy. That's pretty impressive.
That's how we rank our knives. If you can skin a squirrel.
Okay, let me think of my. I think I can't. So I think the first thing I ever got LTT, a friend bought me a shirt that was too small. But it was their Ram shirt, which I think they just brought back, and it looks pretty cool.
For those of you that don't understand, RAM not as in the animal. RAM is in a
Right.
stick of RAM, which is the memory on a computer.
Random access memory.
Okay,
It's a
sure.
it's a computer.
I bet
stick
they know
module.
exactly what that is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that explains it.
It is one of these sticks that sits in a computer in the motherboard that most of you probably never see.
Yeah. So it looks really cool. It's like a really like stylized design of it, and I loved it. I took a senior photo in it. I took senior photos in it over with a jacket over it, and it makes me look really nerdy, and I love it. I love my little nerdy photos. So the shirt was okay quality. How was your unspeakable shirt? You remember?
It's
It's
just a shirt.
It's a cot. It's
Yeah.
a
Listen,
normal
just
shirt.
we're talking about quality. Is it a quality
it
shirt?
sucks. I don't fit in it anymore.
Oh,
Is that what
that's
you want
no.
to say?
It's
No,
not
like
hard
material.
to be a good shirt.
Okay.
It's a shirt.
Again, he's
From
not going to buy a
5 years
shirt
ago.
that he wouldn't think would be comfortable when he bought it.
I know. I'm talking. Yeah. I guess.
Like I said, I'm not going to buy something that I know is not quality.
I bought it in third
Anyway.
grade. I probably was not thinking.
So I
about
don't.
the quality.
I think there's.
I guarantee
I
Mom and
think
Dad
the
was.
LTT shirt was okay in quality. I've bought now a hoodie from them, which is very high quality, very thick, very durable feeling. It doesn't feel cheap at all, and it wasn't cheap at all.
Yeah, you would hope with the price of them they wouldn't be.
But it's
This
a
was
really
fairly
good hoodie,
priced,
a lot of pockets. It's really like feels like something you could actually use, which is something I like, as opposed to like something cheap, like just woven on or whatever. Everything is stitched and well attached, and I love it. I love that jacket. I wear it all the time, and I get made fun of in it too.
Can confirm.
Because it's orange. It's black and it has orange sleeves. Bright.
And an orange
It's
hoodie.
Brighter orange than this.
I think it looks pretty cool. I think I stylized.
It's nerdy.
I'm styling. I am
He's styling because he likes Linus Tech Tips and he's seen him wear it.
No, well, and
He's
I like,
actually
I think
never
it's-
worn that before.
I think it's fun with the orange.
Yeah. It
You should see some of their other colors though. They have like a Tech Quick or whatever their channel is, and it's got like a bright cyan, turquoise, like sky blue kind of thing, like really bright and saturated though, and then like orange and bright, like a dark vivid purple, and it's just all these random colors, and it looks.
By the way, Linus and Kindle, you're welcome.
Oh yeah, you are welcome. Linus has.
Please sponsor us. We would love it.
We would.
Getting sponsored by another YouTuber would be crazy.
Linus
Shout
has
us out. Come on the pod.
that would be cool too. So the main product that I have been super pleased with that I've bought 3 of, which I'll tell a story about here,
3 is insane.
is their water bottles.
Big water bottle.
This one is a big one. This one, it's a motherboard design, so it looks like a motherboard. This is where
Again,
your,
nerdy computer
This is where your
Linus Tech
sticker.
Tips.
This is where your
Love it.
sticker RAM would go. I love these. There's a smaller one that I didn't care to bring down here, and then there's this
they're
one,
insulated with lids.
and then there's another one.
How does that cap move? Open the cap.
So basically, like,
No.
it's a water
Oh,
bottle.
that cap doesn't even come off.
Oh no, this thing does.
Oh, okay, good. Yes! Okay, that's
Yes!
nice. That is nice.
It is nice. Before they didn't have that. They just had like this.
Yeah, that sucks.
So they made this new
I want
cap.
one of those
which,
now.
You do?
Yeah,
These are really good.
I know.
Okay, your birthday's coming up, so I know what to get you now.
Hmm.
A white and blue, nerdy looking.
Maybe not
bubble.
white. It get dirty. Do they make smaller ones?
They do.
Yes, I'd
Just
like one that
said
fits in a
that
cup
it's
So
holder.
this one is. It
I
doesn't
want
tell
one
me.
that fits in a
I
cup
think this
holder.
one is 40
Oh
fluid
yeah,
ounces.
that's like at least
I
40.
figured 36.
And there's a 20 fluid ounce one, so it's about just the width of the cap.
Yes, that's what I want.
And then there's one that's like 60. That's like a huge.
Golly!
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, give me that 20.
That's for farmers.
They're the same price, so you don't save money going smaller. Or
I don't
bigger.
care. I want it to fit in a cup.
I know,
holder.
I get you. So okay, I got Ethan's birthday gift. I'll
Does it
write
do
this
hot
down.
stuff too?
I think it does. I think it would. hold coffee.
Interesting. That'd be a good thermos.
So,
then.
it's-
coffee cup and
It's-
water bottle.
I can look it up. We can look it up.
Buys two,
We can look it up,
60
Ethan,
liters
and
for
I'll tell
the-
you.
No, because I already have my coffee cup.
So,
I like that with the button.
it's vacuum insulated. I don't know
Yes.
100% what that means.
No, that just means it holds stuff really long and
It does.
doesn't sweat.
And that's what I was going to say. It does not sweat. You're right about that.
yes,
I didn't
that's
even
what's
realize.
on the
yeah.
inside.
So it doesn't
'Cause
sweat,
it's the
which is
metal
cool.
And the
It
vacuum
keeps
is the
stuff
vacuum seal that's on the
so
inside.
cold. If you put like ice in it and then water and then it's like pretty full.
That's typically what you do.
And it's pretty full. It doesn't have like it doesn't have a lot of air, and you're not like opening it
Oh,
up
yeah,
and drinking out of it.
You do
Yeah.
typically put ice and water in a water.
Ice water.
And you drink it?
I do.
What?
I
do you drink it?
I do, and then I unscrew this. So you could, and it has the big mouth for the easy. Anyway, it stays so cold. Like I can go a day. Like it'll go. Like I'll go to work at like, a normal work time, and it'll be like 8 or 9 hours later, and I'll come home and there's still ice in it. I
I
have
see
to
it.
throw it out.
And he throws it at his
So,
car to clean
with
it.
the one I
do.
have now, I wonder how different it is. But when it unscrews, these both go and fold. But I don't know. I don't know that I like that because I like always having a handle here.
I obliterate 90% of water bottles I own.
Size. iPhone. Big
iPhone.
boy.
iPhone.
Big, like 2 of them.
It
Almost
is
2.
pretty big.
It's
It doesn't
literally
fit in
like
any
2
bag.
iPhone
I literally
13s.
can't fit it in a bag. I used to fit the smaller one in my bag, and it obliterated the inside, which is so I just need. You just need to make sure you get a bag that
I
has.
would just want a smaller one.
Yeah, you just make sure
I'm
you
not
have a
gonna
bag that
drink that
holds the
much
smaller
water
one.
anyway.
I
I don't
don't
feel like
because I have
those
to
are on a
dump it all out
motherboard.
because there's so much ice. Anyway, this thing, I think this thing would keep.
Dumping it is crazy.
Those are not on a motherboard.
That's
Just
true.
saying.
It's the I/O that's on the outside of a mother. It's not in the.
Just
it's not.
Linus.
Just saying.
It's not on the motherboard. It's outside the motherboard. Anyway, I love this bottle. Keep stuff cold. I think I could. I bet if I put ice and water in it, it would be cold in 2 days. Like I bet I could leave this.
Yeah.
I bet I've left this in a hot car and there's been ice in it after
Okay,
a couple
move on to
hours.
the next product.
No, I love this water bottle.
I understand.
I
They
have to.
understand that
They're
already.
paying me
They
for this.
understand. No, they're not.
I have to
not.
hit my quota.
We are unpaid.
We're unpaid. Anyway, Love their water bottles. They used to shield for that in their videos all the time. And then they made screwdrivers.
Because
Shabby.
tech and screwdrivers, motherboards
Yeah.
have to be different.
And so I got the little
They
one and the
really
big
don't,
one.
though.
They had a promo. So this is like $70 and this is like $50, I think. And so that's like $130. And I think they had a promo where they were combined $100. So I didn't really save money on either one, but I got both. I didn't want the little one. I could care less about the little one. I just wanted the big one. So I actually spent more for just the big one, but got the little one.
And has never used it.
I actually just used it today. I have now used this to take a thing off the bus.
That's what she said.
But he did not.
That's crazy. And then I used this little one just today to screw in some panels on some audio ports. They're really cool. They ratchet. Hold on.
I think they know what ratchet sounds like. We understand.
I'm going to mute you.
Yeah.
And then-
somebody mute.
And so
Mute,
it's
mute.
it's your normal ratchet, both ratchets. It doesn't move very well, high quality. Look, you expand it.
They can't see it when you're doing it behind
Sorry,
your
but you
mic.
can hear it. It's great. And so this one carries like 6 bits. What is it? 1, 2. Yep, 6 bits. And so this is like your pretty standard.
That's really nice until those wear out and they just fall open everywhere.
I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Well.
And it also comes with a magnetic bit, which I think is an interesting bit to include. So the inside is magnetic.
So you can get the screws out. I wish I had one of those for your last time when I dropped a screw
well,
on my
then
motherboard.
you're welcome. Next time I'm here.
That's useful. That makes sense.
So it's got a magnet in it, so it holds the screw tips in it and the screws. If the screws are ferro screws, which means they're magnetic, it'll catch them.
So
And
if
it's
they're
great.
magnetic screws,
yeah, if
So
they're
if they're
magnetic
metal
screws.
screws.
Nope, they have to be magnetic. Metal screws don't.
yeah, they
necessarily
would probably
mean
magnetize
magnetize.
screws for
Anyway,
a motherboard.
so I love that. The little one is okay. I
Just
wouldn't use
normal
it.
screws,
It's also
though.
it has this oh shoot, ferreting. Nope.
You can magnetize something with it.
No, I was talking about the grippy
They're
things.
grippy. It's grippy.
It's grippy on the end.
I don't remember what the term is. I just said it the other day.
Grippy.
Anyway, so there's
Yeah,
so I don't know if you
grippy.
can see. You can definitely not, but there's like a grippy spot
right
here
there. It's perforated.
that lets you grab it, and so you can grab it better than like just the. It's like bumpy and whatnot. It's just smooth.
It's like perforated.
This one has it on the very tip right here on the
That's-
very end. That's so dumb. I struggle to use that.
Yeah, that's annoying.
It's almost unusable,
Okay.
but it's better than not
Anyway,
having it
show the
'cause
big
I
one.
did use it. Listen,
Give me the little one for size.
Look,
comparison.
this-
grippy.
listen here, buddy. This is my segment.
My
This
knife
my
is
idea.
bigger
I'm
than
gonna-
this.
Confirmed. This one, brother.
Here it is. Oh, big boy.
Some good sounds. Oh wait, I can do the ratchet too.
Is this one not ratcheting?
I disabled the ratchet.
You can disable the ratchet?
Yeah.
What?
So there, it's so there in the middle. It's disabled. This way, it's like
it's a normal
loosen, and this
screwdriver.
way, it's like
Loosen and tighten.
That's common. That's how that works. That's how my other one works too. I have a cheaper one of these.
He got like 2 or 3 of them actually, but he just wanted Linus's. So Linus, shout out.
I know. Hey,
Hashtag
I
Linus.
bought the Mag Pro normal one, like the default one.
You should hashtag these guys in the video.
I
clips.
should.
Bruh.
But then I bought yours because I was a
really
fan,
bad,
and I don't necessarily like the black, so I'd like the orange one, but I don't want to spend more. Thank you. Oh, that's good.
Very nice. Very nice. ASMR.
So anyway, this one is
No.
more like your general tech stuff,
I don't want that
and
one.
so in addition, I should say, in addition to your typical Phillips and flathead, there's also
There it
some
is.
star. Is there actually star?
You're angry.
I'm lying. There's no star, but there's like hex bit, and there's a square one.
Okay,
There's
Ben,
two square
we
ones.
understand.
Bro is geeking.
Ben, they can go and look this up if they want one.
No, listen. They could look up the fantasy.
we can move
they can,
on.
They could
Size
look up.
comparison.
Listen, they could look up fantasy football rules too.
No,
Captain.
that's harder. They have a product description of this.
L-
Hey,
LTT
it's grippy.
You can buy these at lttstore.com.
Size comparison.
Thank you. I also like the. I just
iPhone.
like
Oh
them.
my gosh, he's still going.
I just like
Go
them.
be a salesman for him and get off the pod.
I actually would go work for them if they would move me up to Canada, or if I could work remote. Hey, don't wear my.
You're gonna have no ratchet left.
Hold on. We gotta listen to this.
Sorry for your ears.
Oh gosh.
It sucks. There we go.
Hey. So yeah, I love these products. These are
Very
high
cool.
quality. I haven't got to use them a lot. They haven't been worked on a lot, but I've heard they're really good.
Doesn't really know they're high quality. Just going off his Linus Tech Tip.
Well, people
Linus
have
said they were good.
people have
Yeah.
tested them and said that they're high quality.
Oh,
I
I bet Linus has tested
no,
them.
it was third parties.
Yeah,
and
we
Linus's wife
understand.
they
We
stand up pretty
understand.
good. They're pretty hefty. They feel high quality. I'm really excited to use them. I'm carrying them in my bag. I'm getting rid of that stupid hefty ugly one.
It's
Um,
not okay.
Okay,
Oop, sorry.
moving on.
What
so
was my next? Anyone else have any other topics?
no, we're gonna go.
Or any
we're
other
gonna
stuff?
skip the next one.
What? That's my other topic.
Next episode,
that we're recording today.
maybe.
Maybe tomorrow. You never know.
Okay, we're moving to
Wait.
Levi's top 10.
It's
Do you have another
9.
thing? Are we not moving yet?
Well, I was wondering.
Put her in
if
reverse,
We should
Terry.
stop here. Should we stop here and just do the next episode? We're getting into school. Hey, we're all in college. Is that something we want to talk about?
Maybe we can, but
How many?
probably not.
I'm taking
Actually,
2
probably not,
classes. How many classes are you taking?
Currently in 14 credit hours.
Okay.
dang,
If I do the math in my head, that's over 4.
That is 4.
It's 5.
With a lab.
That's 4 with a lab.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Ethan, how many are you taking?
6.
So I'm the
6.
smartest person in the room right
That's
now.
not
Just
how that-
No, you
saying
are the
that.
full-time high
Um,
school student.
If it makes you feel
Exactly,
better,
full-time high school.
I took
actually-
12 my senior year, I believe.
So
I'm a junior.
Ethan's actually Levi's actually taking a lot
Yeah, that's
because I
yeah.
never went over 12 either.
Y'all are cooked.
We are getting cooked here. But you don't have an associate, so come at me. Actually, neither of you do. So
I'm 4
Yes,
years younger
technically I
than you.
do.
technically, but you don't have the paper, and I have a paper.
I have the hours for it, but anyway.
That
okay,
doesn't-
moving on.
that
I'm
doesn't-
enrolled
Ethan
in more
never actually-
now.
Ethan
I'm enrolled
actually
in more
never-
now.
He never graduated.
Which is fine. I didn't graduate because their term
He never graduated. He's an idiot.
didn't want me to graduate.
He's gonna be a bachelor without an
I'm not
associate.
worried about it.
That's fine. You don't really, in a 4-year institution, I don't think you get an associate's anyway. You just get the
you wanna-
bachelor's.
Here's a random thing.
So that's fine. Oh yeah, give us a random thing. I'd
So,
like
I saw these
to split
glasses
this.
the other day. Right?
Okay.
They're like $400, but that's besides the point. But like, it's like a little TV is like in your glasses,
Yeah.
right?
I think I saw
But-
an ad.
You can get like a teleprompter, right? So public speaking class, imagine you got a
gosh.
teleprompter in your glasses that you say are just like your reading glasses.
Public speaking is not that hard.
No, I'm
They
just
really
saying in
aren't.
general, you could have a it's so easy to cheat with these things.
Yeah, technology.
Who did I-
Crazy.
who did
Just
I-
like the iPad that you can write the problem and it solves it for you,
Yeah.
I need to buy one of those.
right?
Who told me that they were going to get a new iPhone for the AI? It was you. You said, I'm going to get a new iPhone for the AI.
Unless they're not out when we do this, but anyway, not going into that. We can push the top 10 to the next one.
That's what I'm thinking.
literally 9.
What will we?
What do we?
What
It's
will we?
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
No, I only have 9. Actually, wait, it is 10. Oh my goodness, guys, I figured out why it's 10.
Cause one.
No, because there's ones that are tied.
Oh.
You idiot.
So yeah, we have gone pretty long here. We can push that to the next one.
Well, technically,
Which
it's been
we will record
short.
right after this.
Sure.
Let's freaking go.
So-
All right, guys.
We're not changing, by the way. It is the
Yeah,
same day.
it is. It will be the same day. We've never
Yeah.
done that. I don't know why you clarified.
I've
That's
changed
true.
my hat when we do 2-a-days.
There's no way you did.
Dude, go back and
He
watch.
probably did,
There's no.
but he's out of hats now.
No, yeah, I'm.
Not
Many
now.
episodes.
I've worn this multiple times now. I'm out. Can we make this 8D audio? Have you guys seen that stuff? Have you put
8-bit?
in like 2 earbuds and listen to the 8D audio? Sounds like it's like moving around you and stuff.
No, I'm not gonna try to
That's
figure that
insane.
out.
Dude, it's so cool.
That'd be
Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell if you haven't already. I hope y'all have a blessed day. We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
Ah!